did you make of what we heard from the leaders?
Well, it's not too surprising, by and large, sort of some pre-parliament positioning. Mark Carney, of course, making it clear he's going to be the boss, trying to establish priorities, keep the focus on those things that he campaigned on, and really make certain that this doesn't turn into some kind of business as usual session. That's the number one challenge for Carney, is to continue to represent change. So you hear that narrowness of focus and agenda items coming from him as he communicates to caucus, which is also a clear message to his own caucus. You guys stay focused on that. You guys communicate on this narrow basis. And when it comes to Pierre Poilievre, I thought smart of him to say, listen, there are conditions under which we will cooperate with the government. We're not just going to be blindly partisan and opposing. But he basically rhymes off all the things that he campaigned on and said the government must agree to those things before they will get that agreement.
What did you make of Poilievre expressing an openness to work with the Liberals on energy policy?
Well, I'm not positive this can't happen. Because I do think we're in a unique moment. The Prime Minister has made it clear that he wants to move on energy infrastructure. Now, some of the conditions that Mr. Poilievre lays down, not saying, well, let's just work together and see if we can get some energy infrastructure built, but you have to repeal this and repeal that and crush this piece of legislation. That may be difficult. But I think there's common ground. If he's sincere about it, I believe that Mark Carney is sincere. I believe that Mark Carney believes that his success personally as a prime minister and that the country's success in dealing with this crisis requires us to build pipelines, to get energy to Tidewater. And I do think you're going to see an urgency on that we haven't seen from previous governments. So who knows? Maybe we could see some legislation put into the House either this spring or next fall, put together by Mr. Carney, but that could actually draw the support of the official opposition. That's not usual in a minority parliament, but perhaps in this case, it's not impossible.
Now, to absolutely nobody's surprise, Poilievre mentioning the Conservatives are going to be pushing the Liberals for a spring budget. Do you think they'll get it? No.
This has been a bit of a messy situation for the government. At first, you had the finance minister saying there'd be no budget at all in 2025. Prime Minister then cleaning that up when he was in Europe, saying, actually, we will not have a budget in the spring because so much is fluid, because we want to get our numbers straight, because we want to put some initiatives such as trying to do some budget savings and program review into place. Then we'll do a budget in the fall. Having said that, having established that, having had to essentially correct himself in the government, I don't think you're going to see the Prime Minister change his mind and try to introduce a budget in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And one of the points that the Prime Minister did make was we've only got a 3-week session. So we could bring in an emergency budget, but why do that? Having raised those issues, having made those points, I don't think you're going to see the Prime Minister reverse himself.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for your time, Scott. As always, that is CTV News political commentator Scott Reid.
Thanks, Renee.